What's up, everyone? We're in the middle of week 9. So, coming up on the last few workouts before I take a little bit of a break and start to taper for my April 14th 2K. Spring is finally here. It's starting to warm up a little bit. So I've been thinking through how I'm going to train through the summer when it gets to over 100 degrees outside. Now, it easily gets into the high 80s in the garage during our peak summer days. I may find an indoor setup just for the summer. But anyways, I've been tinkering around with a couple things, and I've got something that looks kind of silly over here. Actually, you know what? Flip this around. So this is called I want to say this was called the letter C Breeze. I'm actually surprised there's no branding at all on the outside, but in any case, what it is basically is a sheet of plastic that has, as you can see, elastic drawstrings on either side that you wrap around the cage. And simply what it does is redirect the airflow from the flywheel out towards you. I just did a 3,000 meter warm up with the CBreeze on, and I have to say, it's a pretty nice breeze. It definitely worked as advertised. I'm not going to use it during my workout today. Main reason being that it does affect the drag factor. Normally, on my erg, a 130 drag factor is somewhere right around here in the low 5s. And with the CBreeze on, you can see that I've had to crank it up to a high 7 to get back to that 130 drag factor. And I don't know if it was purely in my head or there's actually a difference in how it felt, but I just couldn't shake the feeling that even during my warm-up, something felt a little off. I may put it back on for my next steady state session and just try and get used to it that way. But in any case, if I can get used to the CBreeze, that might be one good option, in addition to the tower fan that I have sitting behind me to stay cool during the summer if I have to work out outside. But as for today's workout, going to do the Pete Plan staple 3K, 2.5K, 2K, each separated by 8 minutes. As I've gotten fitter, I've been able to quote unquote enjoy this one a little more. Obviously, with any of these Pete Plan workouts, the nice thing about the Pete Plan is you're repeating them every 3 to 4 weeks, so it's a great way to gauge progress over time. So let's jump into it and see how it goes. was a nice way to make up for Monday's session. I mean, different type of workout, obviously. This is a tough workout mentally because these are pretty long intervals, right? Yeah, and I think each time I do these, I feel like I'm able to push just a little fraction bit further into the red. So it's, you know, training the body and the mind to, as you've heard me say before, get more comfortable being really uncomfortable. So a couple days ago, Hien, so as you know, my wife, is a couple weeks now into her training plan on a very accelerated 2K training plan. And she's been putting down some amazing workouts. Again, keep in mind, she's been on the rower, at least consistently, for all of about two and a half weeks. And I've been giving her some pretty tough workouts that I know are well within her ability, but she doesn't know that yet. And so Monday she gave her a pretty challenging workout, 4 by 1500 meters with 5 minutes rest. Show a quick playback of how that went and conversation she and I had afterwards. Training plan today?
Today was 4 intervals of 1500 meters at 2:20 pace. So going into it, I was a little bit scared, but I wasn't going to make the same mistake this time. I was actually up for the challenge. I did not fill myself up on sweet potatoes this time before the workout. Going into it, I was thinking, okay, this is going to be hard, but it's not as fast, I think. The pace wasn't as fast as my last sprint workout. So when I did the first interval, it wasn't too bad. I was surprised. And the second one felt good too. And then, you know, it just kind of thought, oh, 2 down, 2 to go. And the third one felt good. And just before I knew it, I just had 1 left. I will say that cue you gave me the other day really made a difference. Do you want to explain?
Yeah, I can explain. So I noticed when Hien was warming up, which was something I talked about in my Learn to Row video as one of the common faults, where people who have really hypermobile ankles, they can sometimes get into a position where their butts are almost touching their ankles at the catch. When someone's butt is that close to their ankles, their back will tend to be very upright. It's hard to maintain forward lean at the catch if your butt is right up against your ankles. It's easier to show if someone's on the row or harder to explain, but in any case, the cue I gave to Hien was feel like you're stopping halfway or 3/4 of the way up the slide, even though that'll actually be full range of, like, as far as you really want to go. It'll feel short for you because you're so used to moving all the way up. And then leaning forward more with the upper body so that you don't actually lose any length in your stroke. All you're doing is just, instead of shoving your butt all the way up, you're scooting your butt back and leaning forward more. That allows you then to use your upper body as a big lever during the stroke. Because if you start the stroke at the catch with your upper body already basically vertical and upright, you can't really generate any power from your back. But yeah, 219.1 average. And hopefully this
4 seconds though, plus another 500 meters.
It's not insignificant, but you did 4 of these, right? With basically, they were all pretty much within 0.1 or 0.2 splits of each other. So very much in control, I would say, which tells me that, 215 is, plus when you've got the motivation and the adrenaline of race day, you've got people cheering you on, you know, that'll get you another second or 2. So I think well on track. Yeah, so another awesome session in the books.
Yeah, it was good.
Now, of course, there's always a chance after the 2K you may decide, you know what, that's enough for the rower. I don't really need to continue on this journey. And that's okay. But at least Hien will hopefully have a foundation where maybe 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you decide you want to get more into it. and chase down a few more goals. I never would have thought 5 years ago, 10 years ago, that I would ever be training on the erg again like I am now.
It's funny, we talked
So-
about that, about how rowing was such a big part of your life for so long. And then when you finished college, you had no interest in it for, you know, over a decade, like even more than that. And it's funny to go from just it being everything to just suddenly nothing at all.
Yeah, I just never went to any races, or maybe went to one race, one Stanford race in the last 15 years. Never looked up rowing stuff online, really didn't think about rowing at all. And then since getting back on the rower, I find I'm watching races from the World Championships. I watched the Oxford-Cambridge boat race this past weekend. Like, I'm just more interested generally in rowing again, which is, yeah, surprising. Never would have guessed.
That's
But-
cool.
We just put the kids down about half an hour ago. Sadly, it is almost our bedtime as well. So,
Oh, yeah, I'm going to bed. It's like already 9.
so on that note, till next time, take care of yourselves. Keep chasing. Peace.